Imagine you receive 50,000 rupees today. What would you do? Put it in your savings account, keep it as cash, invest it in mutual funds, buy stocks, or maybe just spend it. Most people think saving and investing are basically the same thing. They aren't. And the difference could determine whether your 50,000 becomes 55,000, or potentially grows into several lakhs over the long term. Because saving protects your money. Investing tries to grow it. But here's the catch. If you invest money you actually need in the short term, you could be taking unnecessary risk. And if you keep all your money sitting in cash for decades, inflation could quietly destroy its purchasing power. So today, we're going to settle the biggest question. Welcome back to the Money Lens. Here, we break down money, investing, and business in a simple way. Let's start with something extremely important. Saving and investing have completely different jobs. Think of your financial life like building a house. Your savings are the foundation. Your investments are the structure you build on top of it. If the foundation is weak, taking more investment risk doesn't magically fix the problem. It can actually make things worse. So before we talk about stocks, mutual funds or returns, let's understand what saving actually means. Saving means putting money aside for future use while prioritizing safety and accessibility. This could include money in your savings account, fixed deposits, recurring deposits, or other relatively low-risk options. The biggest advantage of saving isn't spectacular returns, it's stability. Imagine your monthly expenses are 40,000. Suddenly, your car needs an expensive repair, or you have a medical expense, or your company delays your salary. If you have no savings, you may have to borrow money, and that's where things can get ugly. You could end up using a credit card, taking a personal loan, or selling investments at exactly the wrong time. Savings give you a financial buffer. That's why one of the first goals for most people should be building an emergency fund. But there is a major problem with keeping too much money in cash, and that problem is called inflation. Let's say you keep 1 lakh completely untouched for 10 years. At first glance, you might think, I still have 1 lakh. I haven't lost anything. Technically, that's true. But financially, something very important happened. The purchasing power of that 1 lakh may have fallen. Why? Inflation. If prices rise over time, the same 1 lakh buys fewer things. Think about everyday expenses. Food, rent, education, healthcare, travel. Everything tends to become more expensive over long periods. This means keeping large amounts of money completely idle for decades can be risky in another way. You're not losing money on your bank statement. You're losing purchasing power. And this is where investing enters the picture. Investing means putting your money into assets with the goal of generating returns over time. That could include stocks, mutual funds, bonds, real estate, or other investments. But here's the most important word: risk. Unlike a normal savings account, investments can go up, and they can go down. Imagine you invest 1 lakh in the stock market. A year later, your portfolio could be worth 1.15 lakh, but it could also temporarily fall to 80,000. That's normal market behavior. And this is why investing is generally better suited to money you don't need immediately, because time can become your biggest advantage. Now let's talk about the most powerful concept in this entire video: compounding. Imagine you invest 10,000 every month. That's 1.2 lakh per year. Now imagine you continue doing this for 20 years. You have personally contributed 24 lakh. But if your investments generate a long-term average return of around 10% annually, the final amount could be significantly higher than what you personally contributed. That's the magic of compounding. Your money generates returns. Those returns can generate additional returns. And over long periods, that snowball can become extremely powerful. Let's visualize it. Start with a small snowball. It rolls down a hill. It becomes bigger and bigger and bigger. And here's the interesting part. The longer you give your money, the more important compounding becomes. Which means starting early can sometimes matter more than starting with a huge amount. Now we get to the real question. Should you save or should you invest? The answer is, you probably need both. Think about your money in 3 buckets. Bucket number 1, money you need immediately. Bucket number 2, money you may need in the next few years. Bucket number 3, money you don't need for a long time. The first bucket should prioritize safety and liquidity. The second bucket should generally prioritize a balance between safety and growth, depending on your goal and risk tolerance. The third bucket is where long-term investing can become much more important. This simple framework can completely change the way you think about money. Let's make this practical. Suppose your monthly essential expenses are $40,000. Instead of asking, how much money should I have in my savings account? Ask, how many months of expenses should I be able to survive without income? For many people, building an emergency fund covering several months of essential expenses can be a useful starting point. For our example, $40,000 per month. 6 months of expenses would be 2.4 lakh. That's not money you're trying to aggressively grow. That's money designed to protect you. Because the purpose of an emergency fund isn't to make you rich. Its purpose is to prevent one bad month from becoming a financial disaster. Then, once your emergency fund is reasonably established, you can focus more heavily on long-term wealth creation. Now imagine you have money that you don't need for 10, 15, or 20 years. This is where investing can become extremely powerful. For example, retirement, children's long-term education, long-term wealth creation, financial independence. Money for these goals may have a much longer time horizon, and that's important because markets can be unpredictable in the short term. You might invest today and see your portfolio fall tomorrow. But if your time horizon is measured in decades, you have much more time to ride through market cycles. This doesn't mean investing is guaranteed to make money. It isn't. There are no guaranteed stock market returns. But historically, productive assets such as businesses and diversified portfolios have provided investors with opportunities for long-term growth. The key is matching the investment with your goal and risk tolerance. Here's one of the biggest financial mistakes people make. They invest money they might need soon, and keep money they don't need for decades sitting completely idle. Let's say you need 3 lakh for a house down payment next year. Putting that money into a highly volatile investment simply because you want higher returns could backfire. The market falls 20%. Suddenly, your 3 lakh becomes 2.4 lakh, and your house purchase is still 1 year away. That's a problem. On the other hand, if you're 25 years old and saving for retirement at 60, keeping every rupee in cash may expose your long-term wealth to inflation risk. The answer isn't, saving is good, or investing is good. The answer is, what is this money for? That one question can completely change your financial decisions. So here's the framework I want you to remember. Step 1. Build a basic emergency fund. Step 2. Pay attention to expensive debt. High-interest debt can make building wealth much harder. Step 3. Separate your short-term goals from your long-term goals. Step 4. Use appropriate low-risk savings vehicles for money you need soon. Step 5. Consider diversified long-term investments for money you don't need for many years. And Step 6. Invest consistently. Don't obsess over what the market does every single day. Your biggest advantage isn't predicting tomorrow's market. It's giving your money enough time to work. So, saving protects your present. Investing can help build your future. Saving gives you liquidity. Investing gives your money the opportunity to grow. Saving reduces financial stress. Investing can help you fight inflation and build long-term wealth. But neither one should exist in isolation. The smartest approach isn't to choose between saving and investing. It's to give every rupee a job. Money you need soon? Protect it. Money you don't need for many years? Consider investing it appropriately. And remember, you don't need to become a stock market expert to start building wealth. You need a plan, you need discipline, and most importantly, you need time. If this video helped you understand the difference between saving and investing, hit the like button and subscribe to the Money Lens for more videos on investing, money and business explained simply. And here's the question for you. If you suddenly received 1 lakh today, how much would you save? And how much would you invest? Tell me your answer in the comments.